Let's talk about some potential contributing factors to an upper diastasis. 1, what does your breathing look like? When you go to inhale, is all your mobility occurring in your lower front ribs, or are you able to get a nice 360 expansion throughout your entire rib cage with sending your breath down into your pelvic floor? When you go to exhale, are you able to get your ribs back down and in, or do they stay wide? 2, what happens when you go to do a small crunch? Are your ribs able to come in with a nice balance and flattening of your lower abs? Or when you go to do the crunch, do your ribs stay wide? This can indicate some weakness in our upper abs for our external obliques and our TAs that need to be strengthened to help pull those ribs back in. This can then also help with more of your rib mobility on your inhales going into your back versus continually going out through the front and putting stress and strain through that diastasis. That being said, as you're working on that upper ab strength, you always have to make sure that you're protecting your pelvic floor and able to do those activities with a nice flattening of your lower abs as well. 3, what happens when you go to move your arms? Are you able to disassociate your shoulder blades from your rib cage? Or is your a tendency every time you go to reach or pull for your ribs to flare open or drop down? This is going to indicate that we're not actually moving through our shoulder blade like we're supposed to and not using those scapular muscles, but instead constantly putting stress and strain through that upper area of that diastasis, which can also affect how we're able to access other parts of our rib cage to breathe. 4, what happens when you go to hinge and squat? Is your tendency to flare through your rib cage again, or can you keep a nice contained rib cage so that it's stacked over your pelvis and actually get the movement from your hips like we want to? The same can go for when we're doing hip thrusts or bridges. Are you able to get that hip extension through your glutes, or is your tendency to arch in your back and flare in your ribs instead? Hopefully this gives you a little food for thought on areas to check out. Check out our playlist to see some ideas and examples of how to address these issues and for more education on these ideas.